Welcome to the Shifter, everybody. I'm allegedly Will.
And I might be Matt.
And I think, yeah, this is the Shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.
Even though we were missing in action.
So, long story short, technical difficulties. We actually recorded the Daytona episode right after the race ended, and I don't know what went wrong, but for whatever reason, had issues uploading it, exporting it. It was a whole process, so I'm still gonna try and get it out. It'll be late. It'll be a lost episode type deal, but you know, as much as I'm upset about that, we have to talk about this past race weekend.
And I actually want to do something a little different this week. You know, normally we cover the lower series at the end, but I want to get the stinky horribleness out of the way before we get to maybe one of the greatest races in NASCAR history.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the filth out of the way.
So, first off with the Truck Series race, it was a very mediocre race. There was
You said the thing.
M&S. But
Mediocre network of sports.
there were some little wrecks, there was some passing. It looked like we were going to get a really cool battle at the end between Grant Enfinger and Kyle Busch, but sadly Grant Enfinger blew a tire, no caution, allowed Kyle Busch to run away with the thing.
Yeah.
And then in the Xfinity race,
Which I fortunately or unfortunately in this case, got to watch the first two stages of the Xfinity race, and
the Jesse Love show, you mean?
yikes, man. On one hand, I feel really good about picking Jesse Love to win the Xfinity Championship. Also, I still feel good about spoiler, we picked Jesse Love to win I picked Jesse Love to win the Daytona race. He actually picked Austin Hill, so whatever. But yeah, Jesse Love dominated the thing, but that was mainly because it was a train the entire time. And if you know the Xfinity field, there are maybe 5 people in there that you are confident in that can work the draft. And yeah, that thing was just terrible.
And 4 of them are in the RCR family.
Yep.
But at the end, we did at least get some sort of drama with the fuel mileage, and then somehow the most anticlimactic winner wound up winning in Austin Hill, going for 2 in a row. But that was those races.
But that being said, you know, I'm just really upset, Matt, to be honest with you, because, like, even though, you know, the truck race at Daytona was sloppy, and the Xfinity race at Daytona was sloppy, but I thought it was a really good race. I was thoroughly entertained.
Shout out to Natalie Decker for leading laps, by the way.
She genuinely give a lot of shit to Nat Decker. She did way better than I thought she would, so credit to her. But honestly, I was just very let down by these races. I need a pick-me-up.
Oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Matt, take me away.
Come here, guys. We're doing it early today. Come on. Come here, children.
You know, it's funny that you do this because me and my girlfriend had a conversation about this past week about how for some reason most men can't do this movement here. That being said, you can try again.
All right,
I
guys.
feel uncomfortable.
The mic hit me in the mouth, but we're not going to talk about it. So we all know.
I want to do that sometimes with your bitch ass.
We all
Sorry.
know. Speaking of mouths, we all know about the little blue pill, Viagra. I don't need it.
Okay. Didn't need to know that.
Okay. But it was a sponsor in NASCAR for Mark Martin.
was.
And most people think that's where it started. Nuh-uh. It started on NASCAR legend and should be Hall of Famer. Okay, let me backtrack. Mike Bliss's number 27 in the year 2000. He drove the Viagra machine to many top 35 finishes and many totally not DNQs. And he should always be remembered for bringing this fun little blue pill into NASCAR for Grandpa Martin to be able to drive for years and almost to the 2002 championship until this guy took it away from us.
Well, I mean, you know, the reason he didn't win the championship in 02 is the competition was just really stiff. It was really hard to win the championship.
White text right here.
So damn mean. But
guys,
no, it isn't mean. No, it actually
no, I gotta
wasn't
say the
mean.
thing. I gotta blow a kiss to my audience. Come back.
Sorry, I got
And
really
this-
overexcited.
No, this is about to get exciting. But
No,
this
I
has
got
been
excited, overexcited.
so. The guys,
Hopefully, I'm not excited for 4 more hours. I'll have to contact a doctor.
please
This
do
is
not
still
take
a
the little blue
Viagra
pill
joke.
before I do this. Please do not, because you will get very stiff and excited, as that man over there
I don't know
just
what
said.
you're insinuating. I was talking about
A
the level
hard
of competition.
Wee wee. Is
No,
what
I
I'm
was talking
about.
about the level of the competition, Matthew.
Okay, let's
You have
stop
a dirty mind. Gutter, get
Guys,
out of there.
This has been a very dirty and sloppy and stiff and hard penis. Matt, my knee moment with Matt.
So that being said, now we have to get to the main event. Oh my God. One of the best races I've ever watched in my life. I'm sorry, at this point, if you're not on the new Atlanta train, at least reevaluate. Don't
Hey,
get me wrong. I
ev-
miss that old racetrack, but damn.
They laughed at Dale Jr. last year when he said this is the highest ticket in NASCAR. There hasn't been a better race since the mid-2010s.
No.
And I got the pleasure of being at this race. So we both got two different perspectives on it because you got to watch it on TV. Me and Dante went. So
Yeah, we will be at the playoff opener there. I can't wait to see that thing in person.
And we'll also be at Spring Talladega and Fall Talladega.
Yes.
And maybe a race during the summer. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But just I got home perfect timing from church and everything just to see everybody peeling off pit road. And I remember I just had this thought like, oh, what if this thing is real bad? But then I had the thought, we'll get to this. Or, we'll just get to it now. The drivers definitely took it on themselves to race today.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Not today, but, on Sunday, didn't they?
So, yeah, definitely. Also, just quick side tangent. Got to meet Kenny Wallace, which was really cool. And got to see Jeff Bodine. But going into the race, it was a stacked house in Atlanta. Great attendance. And, you normally take that video on lap 1. But at the end of my video, there's smoke because what happened on lap 2, Will?
Well, there was a big stack up, and then Austin Dillon went spinning.
And then so did a lot of other people, including your driver, Bubba Wallace, and my driver, Chase Elliott, were in this wreck.
Yeah, I saw Bubba go spinning, and I said, oh, shit. And then I thought to myself, I thought he washed back up the track and had to got collected. But then I saw him driving away with minimal damage, and I was fairly relieved. But we both had the same thought after this wreck. Just like we thought at Daytona, we thought it was going to be a train. Absolutely not, man.
No. For the rest of stage 1, we got 3 wide. We did not quite get to the 4 wide yet,
But we did, which we'll talk about that.
we got lots of 3 wide. And actually, the dominant guy in this race, the dominant 2 guys in stage 1 at least, were the front row motorsports teammates of Todd Gilliland and Michael McDowell. And Michael McDowell wound up taking the stage away from the Penske duo of Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano.
What a drive specifically for Todd Gilliland, man. These first 2 weeks, we'll see when we go to Vegas what the power in those front row cars really is. But, man, I just want to give a shout-out to Todd Gilliland because the truth is, I probably should have highlighted him in the last episode more, just talking about the 500. I know, because, see, I refer to the last episode. They haven't seen it. But,
Yeah, man, you could have covered your ass right there.
yeah, I chose to talk about Justin Haley instead. But, man, Todd Gilliland has really impressed me. And, honestly, I would not be shocked if the 34 and the 38 are fast in many tracks this year that aren't just super speedways. But, yeah, really good stage 1. And now
And, there was 2 other incidents in stage 1.
Yeah.
They're small. Chris Buescher went spinning and Denny Hamlin went spinning. But they're both able to continue for now.
yeah, both of them would they'd have interesting futures in this race.
But going on to stage 2. Didn't think it could get much better than that. But, oh,
Nope.
boy, stage 2 is where it starts.
Yeah.
Because we get this stage was dominated by Austin Cindric and Todd Gilliland and Joey Logano, which we'll get to Joey Logano at the end of this stage.
Yeah.
But we got to see, I believe, the first real green flag cycle of pit stops on this new Atlanta, which if you guys don't know, it's a little different than any other track. You actually enter pit road on the backstretch, and you can go 90 miles an hour until you get to the actual commitment line from the old Atlanta track,
But we had some drivers forget that.
including your buddy. The drivers that had speeding penalties, which because the crowd was oohing and ahhing every time one would pop up on the screen because they put it up on the big screen. Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain. We had Bubba Wallace,
Yeah.
and Josh Berry actually got 2 of them. I don't know if that was highlighted on the broadcast. But also entering pit road, we had Michael McDowell making oopsie and collect William Byron.
Yeah, I actually, funny enough, I actually wasn't referring to the speeding penalties. Did they, was it clear in person that there were multiple drivers that had the wrong pit road speed on entry in the green flag and they dropped down to 45? I think it happened to Brad. They had a couple guys. Brad
But they didn't
lost-
tell us that at the track.
No. I want to say it was Brad Keselowski that lost, 7 spots just because he entered in at 45 and a bunch of people passed him because he forgot. It happened to him and one other person, and Fox highlighted it. Again, funny enough, something that Fox highlighted that somehow didn't come across at the track, which we'll go ahead and get this out of the way. Fox did a better job than some people on Twitter would have you believe. It wasn't prime box, 2011 style coverage, but it was pretty good. And even at the call at the end, I know a lot of people were for some reason upset about that. I'm sorry. Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, and Mike Joy did a wonderful job on the call to the finish of the race. I think a lot of people just don't really know what they want in announcing. But that being said, we got the green flag, pit stops, and everything. We had the drama. That being said, take us to the end of stage 2.
Well, coming to the end of stage 2, Austin Cindric made it 4 wide for the lead.
What a move, man. I said out loud, I said, oh, this ain't going to work, boys. Keep in mind, I'm sitting next to my girlfriend who doesn't really know much about NASCAR or care too much. So I probably sounded stupid as hell, but I said, oh, this ain't going to work. Poor Jordan's trying to get work done, and I'm just screaming. But the race just brought it out of me.
But then, coming to the end of stage 2, Austin Cindric was ahead of Penske teammate Joey Logano, and Joey Logano probably made the worst move of the race, trying to block Chris Buescher, who was already right beside him. Slammed head-on into the wall, ruined him and Chris Buescher's race. But then Denny Hamlin slammed in and was fine. How about the durability of this car?
Again, it's a double-edged sword because on one hand, I love the durability of this car, especially because it came into play for Bubba later on in the race. But I mean, the durability of the car is somewhat what's led to these driver injuries. But also, they talked about it on the broadcast. They wondered if Joey might not have been blocking. A lot of people thought he might have just gotten loose and pushed up the track. That's what Joey said. Maybe take it with a grain of salt.
Oh, we missed this. Web glove, man? What the hell?
I don't know. And honestly, kind of respect it. He tried something.
I didn't even know that was illegal. I didn't know.
Yeah, but there's a rule there. But that being said, now stage 3.
Well, we actually, speaking of those two guys that got speeding penalties, Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain, we saw one of the coolest battles for a lucky dog that we've seen, which ended in pain for me. But go ahead and take us through it.
Okay, so basically what ended up happening is, Bubba, Chastain, and some other guys got trapped a lap down. I think at the end of the stage, Michael McDowell was trapped a lap down, and he got the lucky dog.
Yeah, and then there was a caution right at the beginning of the next stage, and Kyle Busch got back on.
Yeah, so what happened then is the pack was going nuts. They did not waste any time
Kaz
competing in
Grala
this
spun.
thing.
I just remembered.
That is true. I forgot about that. But basically what happened is it was Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain weaving in and out of traffic, racing for the lucky dog. Bubba had him beat, and here's the crazy part. Bubba had a pretty damaged race car. It was speculated heavily on the broadcast whether or not he could get out there and lead a line at the end of this thing. I actually think he could have because he was going up through the middle and driving through, which he did as Ross Chastain slammed into the back of Chase Elliott and sent him spinning into the turn 3 grass.
In which later in this race, Chase Elliott would spin for a third time, and I would scream from the stands, Chase, please stop spinning. This is not okay.
But that being said...
But Chase would never go off the lead lap in this race somehow.
No, I don't know how he did it, but somehow Chase Elliott, he finished, 15th?
Yeah.
So
Good point today, boys.
Given the fact that he wrecked 3 times and finished 15th.
And had a broken suspension.
Also, I don't think we've yet... Well, no, actually, you know what? You take it from here because I realized that what we haven't yet talked about was next chronologically, so you take it away.
Oh, are we talking about Brad? Oh, Brad Keselowski. When's he going to get one? He's going to get one eventually. He almost got it here. He was running in third, but from the stands, there was 2 cars that were evil. This might not have been apparent on TV, but I think they actually highlighted Chase Briscoe's on TV.
It was very apparent with Chase Briscoe, and looking back, the truth is Brad's just a veteran, and so he can wrangle a bad race car a little bit better. But, yeah, it was more apparent with Briscoe, which we'll get to him as well. But so take it away with Brad.
But Brad would eventually not be able to wrangle that car. He went into one. He lost it. And guess who it collected? This man has a super speedway curse. He ran in. We haven't talked about him yet. He ran in the top 5, top 10 the entire race. Poor Kyle Larson got caught up in this.
Kyle Larson just cannot win in a drafting style track. It's not that he's bad at it. He's plenty good at it. He just cannot win.
It took out 2 really fast cars. They would finish 32nd and 33rd, respectively. This is one of the few wrecks where it took both of the drivers out, completely. It was just the way that they hit. I think it broke the rear end of Brad's car, and it broke the front suspension on Larson's car.
Yep.
But then we get to the craziness, and we get a bunch of wrecks. We get the Josh Berry, Carson Hocevar wreck, which looked crazy in person when Carson Hocevar.
Carson flew up. The hover car was flying.
But Carson Hocevar finished 19th.
Carson Hocevar also a new Twitter favorite. He's helping the sport gain traction on Twitter, interacting with Icy Vert on there. apparently big Twitter page.
Also, running in the top 10 for most of this thing. Also, another guy, another underdog guy. He's not my underdog of the race, spoiler, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But then...
I don't think there's any discussion of who's underdog of the race, right? We'll go ahead and talk about that. It's Todd Gilliland, right? I mean,
he's my driver of the race, so he can't be my underdog of the race. But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Don't spoil yet.
Okay.
But so then we get to it. Take us away.
So things were starting to get real dicey, and I'm kind of sitting there and I'm wondering, when's it gonna give? Kind of like the feeling you have at Daytona. Obviously, you have with these pack races, and it was starting to set in with me during this run. Like, damn, that 14 car is unstable and finding itself in some pretty bad situations. Vicious crash for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
That sucked. One, just because, you never want to see a guy take a hard hit like that. But also, the truth is I was very impressed by Chase Briscoe battling not a tight race car, battling an evil race car and staying up front. He showed the speed, but I know there were some others, like Eric Eastep brought up a point where he thought that maybe the lights just got too bright for Briscoe, and maybe that's the point. But the truth is I think he was just overdriving the thing, and, the worst case scenario happened. Took a hard right turn in the outside wall.
Also into Denny Hamlin's day as well.
Finally,
It's
because
his third accident.
how in the crash with Logano, Denny wasn't totaled there. I genuinely don't understand, but
And also, we got NASCAR history. It was on accidents detrimental yesterday. Denny Hamlin is finally pissed in his fire suit, guys.
oh, see, I thought you were talking about the trifecta. Nope, Denny Hamlin pissed in his fire suit.
And he
It's
liked
awesome.
it.
It's probably a pretty
Might need to
Really?
call it Mike Bliss and Mike Martin. Mark Martin. He's
Mike
Mark
Martin.
Martin. He's getting to that age.
This guy.
Stiff and
But-
hard, baby. Go ahead. Sorry.
That being said, now it's time.
It's time.
All right.
We're gonna have
so-
two different perspectives on this. So
Oh, I don't even know where to start. This race restarts with, I want to say 5 laps ago.
it was actually around 9 or 10 because
No. It was 8 laps ago.
NASCAR did a really cool thing here. Got to give them some credit. I'm gonna get on my Jeff Burton soapbox for a second.
Yeah.
They brought out the red flag just for the sake of the fans to get more laps. I thought it was
Yeah.
really cool.
That's right. So the race restarts with 8 laps to go, and pure chaos to the end.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and now that I finally have the experience of being able to be a hardcore fan of one particular driver, that being Bubba Wallace, haven't had that since Tony Stewart, and since he left the sport. I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm thinking, yeah, I know Bubba's got a good shot to win here. I want to string together 2 top 5s, or at least a top 5 and a top 10, and I'm worried the entire time he's going to get caught up in a wreck. Because also, this is the other thing that I said I would mention. With the Chase Briscoe wreck, Bubba was right there and had to plow the wall to get out of his
Him
way.
and Ty Gibbs did.
Yeah. Bubba smacked the hell out of that wall. Somehow didn't damage the race car enough to take him out of this because Bubba was right there on the scene at the end. But I want you to give the rundown to the final few laps.
All right. So from the stands, we all stand. Honestly, the only time that anybody really sat down was during the breaks because it was just that high intensity the entire time. We're gonna get to tell a cool little story here about a couple of Daniel Suarez fans, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that. But we're all on our feet, and as we're coming to the last few laps, it's clear this finish. It looks like it's gonna be between Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney.
It's clear it's going to be another one of them classic Atlanta finishes.
But actually, I did not think that because, the kind of trend is they wreck on the final lap. We get
Yeah.
a caution. I thought Ryan Blaney was in the Catbird seat here. We come to the white flag. Nobody's really been able to mount a run on him. We're coming down the backstretch. Bubba Wallace gives a beautiful push to Kyle Busch, and it allows him to pop up. But
Kyle Busch with an insane
Yeah.
move to get to the middle. How did he make that thing work? Bubba Wallace washes up the track, and then it's a 3-car drag race.
But I did want to point something else out. Daniel Suarez actually did not get a push from Cindric because obviously Cindric wants
Nope.
Blaney to win. A beautiful side draft on Kyle Busch is what allowed Daniel Suarez to get to the outside. A great move, and then they're coming to the line, and everybody in the stands is like, oh my God, they're already realizing what they're about to see. There's
Yep.
going to be a 3-wide finish, and as they cross the line, I think you said this on TV too, we were all convinced Ryan Blaney had won the race.
I thought Blaney won. Clint was screaming, I think it's Blaney. Everyone thought it was Blaney until the number 99 was shown at the top of the board. Daniel Suarez, in a must-win scenario, comes away with the win at Atlanta.
And it
man.
was really cool because me and Dante were actually sitting next to a group of Daniel Suarez fans. This lady was waving a flag every lap. And I swear to you, this 30-ish-year-old woman off vert jumped up a row of seats and started screaming, Daniel! Daniel! And then she was waving the flag.
And I think you said, like, her husband or whoever she was with, like, almost, like, cried. Or like,
He was almost crying. And all the fans, no matter who you were a fan of, we were sitting around a lot of Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace fans. They were all high-fiving the Daniel Suarez fans because everybody loves Daniel. He needed this, for his future. Trackhouse has gone and signed a bunch of guys, a couple 18-year-olds, and Zane Smith, who I'm very high on. You know that.
Oh, honestly, I'm high on Zane Smith as well.
Who ran in the top 10 in this race before hitting the wall. Sadly, broke his toe link. He was out of the race.
Yeah.
But, Daniel Suarez needed this. It was really cool to see Justin Marks sprint across the infield. Come and grab his guy. I know you said he played with the camera a little bit. Daniel Suarez break the pinata. Everybody was happy. The fireworks going off in the background.
Also, I loved Ross Chastain pulling up, giving him love, and then driving off for Daniel Suarez to do a sick burnout. I mean, it does not get better than this in NASCAR, man. This is the greatest sport on the planet. I'm stealing the Moneyball quote. I'm stealing the Aaron Rodgers quote. How can you not be romantic about NASCAR, man? This stuff rules.
And you know what? Come here for a second.
Oh, my.
All right. I hear a lot of people. You know what? I'm going to bash the sport real quick.
Go ahead. Oh, I think I know what we're doing.
How are you watching regular season NBA basketball and you say this is boring? All of you out there, because I know there's a couple of you that don't really watch NASCAR. You just watch this to see what stupid shit I'm going to say. But, and what stupid shit you're going to say. I'm sorry. This is mainly pointed at the Twins. But,
Sorry, guys. I actually don't have this much venom towards you.
I don't have venom in them. But, this is for everybody. If you can't look at that and be entertained, I don't know what can entertain you as a human. If watching De'Aaron Fox shoot wide open threes for an entire fourth quarter where there's no defense being played, and by the way, I like basketball, guys.
I was about to say, you're proving right now that you watch the product.
Guys, I watched every Hawks game from 2010 to 2015. You probably don't watch every game for your favorite team. I just can't do it anymore because they don't play defense. But you know what? Every single lap of this race, second race of the season, second race of the regular season. Yes, I know if you win, you get to go to the playoffs. But, this race, in essence, doesn't matter.
Nope.
These guys went out there. They showed their ass the entire race.
The entire race. They took it on themselves to entertain the fan base, man.
And you know what? If you keep watching, they're going to do that most weekends. They're going to do that next weekend at Las Vegas. Phoenix is going to be kind of hard to do that, but I think they're going to try. But at Bristol, they're going to put on a show, and at COTA, they're going to put on a show. I can guarantee that. If I knew the schedule now, I'd tell you the 7th race. Don't watch Texas, but
Don't watch Texas.
But every other race, you can watch. Why are you not watching this? Turn the channel, Fox, next week, 3:30 p.m. Go watch Vegas. But now we got to get to the awards for the race because I've been blabbing for way too damn long before this episode goes over.
I want to pile on just a little bit, and I'm going to keep this short. Also, this isn't pointed at Formula One fans. This is pointed at Formula One snobs. Buck off. This shit rules. Your sport sucks right now. Accept it. All right.
I got to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
If you have this weird thing where you're scared of fenders or whatever and scared of contact, just go watch IndyCar. It's so much better than F1 if you don't want to watch
IndyCar is
NASCAR.
so much better than F1. It's not even close.
Yeah.
But that being said, hell, honestly, maybe we should have saved the moment for Matt for after this. But we'll give out our awards for the race. So that being said, my underdog of the race definitely was Todd Gilliland for his impressive performance. So you said he was your driver of the race. So who was your underdog?
He was the guy who finished in 14th. We mentioned him earlier. We've made several jokes about him on this show. But in a Rick Ware racing car on a part-time schedule, after a spin, he stayed out of trouble, didn't get caught up in anything, was running in the top 10 at one point. Kaz Grala really impressed me in this race. He was in the middle of everything, didn't make an ass of himself, ran a great race. He is my underdog, and my bonehead of the race is Joey Logano. From the web glove to the alleged not block, it was just, what the hell, Joey?
Yeah, if I had, I really don't even want to give out a bonehead award for this race. If I had to, and see, maybe I'll end up being the bonehead because I might have the driver wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Brad Keselowski that hit the wrong limit going on a pit road. But I also would probably say Joey, if I'm being honest.
Those two
if
tend
the
to
car
win
just
it at
got
super
out from under
speedways.
him, that's one thing. But if that was a block, that was pretty bad. But that being said, my driver of the race, look, I don't give it. This is heavily biased. Bubba Wallace drove his ass off this race. He got caught in the accident on lap 2, drove back through the field, got stage points in stage 1, then, of course, got trapped a lap down, speeding on pit road, fought like hell, being a lap down for a while, also with a damaged race car driving through the field in a must-have-it situation to get out in front of Ross Chastain, force him to make the mistake, which, he wasn't forcing Ross to make the mistake, but I mean,
Yeah, we felt it, man. It was okay.
But that being said, and then Bubba getting back on the lead lap, and then being a factor at the end of the race with the damage race, also making the move to avoid the wreck, even though, he did just send it into the wall. He avoided the wreck, didn't he? He was there at the end of the thing, and guess what? You can thank him for getting Kyle Busch up there. He gave Kyle a hell of a shot. In fact, I want to say it was Clint that highlighted it. It was a third row back that got a huge run.
Also, if Kyle doesn't
Guys
get up there,
front.
Daniel doesn't get up there. So.
Exactly. So, really, if you think about it, one of the best finishes in NASCAR history is actually thanks to Bubba Wallace.
It's
But,
all in Bubba Wallace, guys. He did everything.
Also, I mean, I will say, Bubba definitely, he shot Busch through, but he was going to go with Blaney.
Yeah.
But-
he was trying to get down, and then that's when he washed up.
Yeah, so Bubba Wallace is my driver of the race. And
Special shout out to Ty Gibbs for saving it on the apron and keeping everybody from
Yeah.
wrecking turn one after flag. I know y'all didn't get to see it on TV. Also, just quick note, both Ryan Preece and Noah Gragson got penalized. Ryan Preece currently sits, I think, at -6 points, and Noah Gragson at 0.
Yep.
They did not need that. Their playoff
Not
hopes
at
are
all.
already dwindling away in week 2.
Yeah, but that being said, this has been a jam-packed episode of The Shifter.
I have to make an apology real quick. I'm sure you guys have heard the reports from the GSP, the Georgia State Patrol.
You better not have been doing what I thought.
There's no speed this time. Guys, so there's been a restraining order put in place because some fans reported it to Martin Truex Jr.'s team that when he took the lead in Stage 3, apparently some crazed fan, they're accusing me of this, yelled out, "I am so fired up right now," end quote, and then smoldered like this for a full lap, and then proceeded to say, why would he say this?
I don't know.
This
It's
is
sick.
stupendous. No one knows what he was talking about.
That guy's a sick freak, and I
there
hope he
was-
gets locked up forever.
There was rumored that there was blue pills around in the Ziploc bag.
Oh, my. All right, before this gets too crazy.
That was
we're
not
gonna
true,
go
guys.
ahead And sign off. That being said, seriously, we thank you for watching The Shifter. Unfortunately, the Daytona thing sucks, but hopefully also get that video out anyway. What a race. If you watched that Atlanta race, you just witnessed one of the greatest moments in sports history. I don't care. Not just NASCAR history, sports history.
Everybody wish Will a happy birthday in the comments. He's not gonna tell you guys, but it's his birthday. And if you can just go to his Instagram, send him little voice messages of doing your best singing of happy birthday. I know I'm gonna do it. I know he's so excited for me to sing it.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday to
This has been The Shifter.
I don't have a shifter. We gotta fix that.